Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to the PBX Pro Series 6, where we are now back. We're going to have the second stream of the day, as because of the server issues from earlier in the day, the first series was delayed slightly and would run into this one, and we didn't know if servers would hold, so we elected to not stream that series anymore, but we will keep you updated whenever we get information on that. I'm still Icefire-Eyed, and I am still joined by Avrona, even though those names are wrong.
I was about to say, Piercing, you changed. You look a bit different now.
Yeah, right? Like, I love when things don't update appropriately whenever they should. But, you know, we'll get those fixed up, and we'll have a good time while doing it.
Yep.
But until then, Avrona, we had a nice break. A little bit of a reset here. Now going into this second series between Team Pulsar and They Don't Know. What are we expecting to see? Huge shout out to IT Discount 24 for sponsoring the PBX Pro Series 6. IT Discount 24 is your refurbished IT partner. Head on over to their website or eBay shop posted in the chat to find all your refurbished PC needs. Whether corporate or private, they'll have you covered. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with the game into the ban phase of Rona. Pulsar, They Don't Know. we're getting into the brass tacks of it all. We're in the ban phase. What are we expecting to see out of this ban phase?
Well, on Consulate, we definitely want to see. Oh, well, okay. There's one of the things I was about to say gone. Shields, because they, especially given how narrow a lot of places are, shields can block up a lot of the corridors in the map, making it very possible to pass. I would expect. Okay, I was going to say maybe someone like a Thatcher, maybe someone like a Carly for the Wolves, but no, they go for the double shield ban. They are extremely powerful in the meta, extremely powerful in this map specifically because of its tight corridors, especially in areas like, for example, downstairs, in the basement, and Azami with a third one to go. A very popular, or pretty much always banned pick, even after some of the recent nerfs.
Yeah, I mean, considering how strong shields are, I'm not surprised that they both got banned, and it's gonna be last ban of Valkyrie here. I mean, with those two bans, of course, we're not going to see the shield play. We're not going to see people getting run down and beat down. But this will then open up some other opportunities for some fun, exciting strategies to come out. We're going to be starting off in the office and meeting room on the second floor. And I want to really see these two squads utilize the verticality that these maps provide to really showcase what they are capable of. That's going to be the key moments of these maps to really make a big difference here today.
Like with Chalet before, Consulate is another map where vertical play matters a lot. And it's something I myself just do a lot when I play this map. Both on attack and defense, it is extremely important how you tackle that verticality and seeing how pretty much all of the floors in pretty much all of the most important areas of the map can get destroyed and can be used against you. So we can expect a very strong vertical play here, even though they're on the top side, you can still shoot up. So I can very much expect at least one of the players to be playing downstairs, potentially trying to catch out they don't know on some of those default plan spots, like for example under B-bomb window. Anyway, for now, they'll just take their time, approach the site, and we just have to wait and see how they play it out.
That we will, as these moments are coming through. They're starting to break down some of these windows, get some of their utility into the consulate, and make sure that they can start to get the intel that they need in order to draft up an execute plan of sorts and make sure that they have everything they need to make that happen. You can see this door is electrified. They're thinking of a way to get through it right now. Be interesting to see how they decide to get through. But for right now, no opening picks, nothing crazy coming through from either one of these squads, as it's just a bit of poking and prodding on these defenses to see if there's any holes that can be found before they are taken out.
We do see the small room wall get breached already. Not really much in the way that could stop that from happening. Players from Pulsar are already on pretty much all floors, both below and upstairs. It's been somehow very easy for them to gain ground already. Dice with the very first one to kick us off, getting a kill onto King, the Kaid. But soon there's a refrag and then another, and all of a sudden it is a 4-3 in the advantage of Pulsar. The attackers still not really challenged too much, still able to gain quite a bit of ground in both floors of this map. Well, the two floors that matter for this site, because you weren't really seeing too many people in the basement for this.
No, we weren't, as it's going to be Pulsar on with the upper hand currently with a 4-3 advantage. They have all of their angles covered that they feel like they need as of right now, but they don't know are starting to close in on some of these locations, and it's going to be a little bit harder depending on the angles that are being held here. As we can see down this hallway, on the other side of this barricade, we might have our another fight as, ooh, they are down. Gravity picks one up and is fighting for more, and they are going hog wild with those kills.
Yep, it is just refrag after refrag over there in vending corridor, leaving it just at a 1v1 Ares versus Watchdog, the last two remaining. While they have a pretty decent idea of where they could be, Ares trying to fake a plant right there to initiate some kind of response from Watchdog, but no, completely unfazed. He's just waiting for the correct moment to strike. Ares once again trying to find a diffuser. C4 going out. I think they both miss each other, and not even a scrap of health lost by Ares. The plant may go down again. He has to hold it this time, given how low the timer is, and it will actually go down. Now, Watchdog has 45 seconds to try and finally find Ares. He has avoided him thus far. The mirror will be popped to try and expose a bit more, make panic. This first wing goes in for the doorway. Still, no one's able to get any of them. I wonder if there's going to be an attempt at some kind of flank, but no. Watchdog just attempting time after time from the same angle. And Ares was ready for that, securing the very first round for his team.
Yeah, Ares played that really well with the fake plants, making sure that they had the upper hand with also good angles to peek from and defend from. Those defensible walls coming in clutch to make sure that they had multiple opportunities and multiple angles that they could shoot from, and it made the team, the squad from They Don't Know, Watchdog, it made it really hard for them to really make a play there, unfortunately, especially after they missed that initial C4 and they had nothing left in terms of utility. So really well played there by the member of Pulsar, and for They Don't Know, they just need to clean up the defense just a little bit, maybe play a little bit more tight, utilizing that buddy system so they can get some more efficient trades off instead of getting caught out in some of these more outward lying areas. But we'll have to wait and see as we are getting through this prep phase right now and waiting for what Pulsar has in store for our defenders.
We are going to the very opposite side of the map now, as the new site chosen by defense is basement. It is played very, very differently. Here, vertical control is extremely important if they want to be able to ensure that plant goes down safely. And when it comes to the other paths they could take, well, obviously they could get a main bridge, or they could go via secret, or they could try and secure most of the mid-ground floor and go via spiral. There's quite a few options for them already. They're already trying to secure some of those top floors, as we can see the buck already approaching from there. However, the scopers played by Gravity will try and prevent that. Jackal, played by Dice, is also going for the top floor, making sure that they can freely explore the building at their own time, so they don't really have to worry too much about any kind of potential flank. And with those phone calls going down, yeah, all they're doing right now is just trying to hunt down any of those pesky roamers before they can safely start making their way downstairs.
You can see they're already trying to create a little bit of verticality in this map by opening up the floor here with this shotgun and seeing if they can't catch anybody off guard, but no one quite in that position to do so. Means that everybody is still gonna be at full health, but it's just getting more and more tense as we get into it, and we can already see some of the fights starting to happen between Kingslayer and who are they fighting with? It's not Dice. Dice got out of dodge there, but they are trying to figure out where everybody might be to launch their attack. Nothing coming of it quite yet.
Nope, we almost have just a minute left, and still, it's a 5v5. Only a bit of damage done on King, and oh! There it is. Watchdog manages to get Storm with the C4. Again, I keep on saying that. The very opposite of what I say always happens today. Anyway, they're still very much taking their time, even after that initial hiccup after losing Storm. Now, hopefully he managed to do his job as that verticality player, destroying as much of that floor as possible so they are able to get in. The Thermite finally placing down his breach charge, a bit late for that, especially seeing how they have the timber out to delay that. Dice managed to get rid, bring it back to a 4v4. However, he is very, very hurt in the process. 30 seconds left. They do have the diffuser, so are they gonna have enough time to be able to do anything here?
You're gonna have to execute right now. If you wait really any longer, you're cutting it really, really close. That I'm not favoring your timings on it. As we can see, Dice trying to get in, but they get taken down by Watchdog. It was one shot, one kill there. As now things are getting time. It's all up to Ares, but it's not gonna matter. As Watchdog picks up a triple kill in the round, as it was a beautiful defense of this bomb site.
It is 1-1 so far, which means that, given how both teams have been playing, it's very difficult to say anything about how the rest of the game is going to progressed. So far, it's been very even, with both teams having some really great moments in his first 2 rounds, but also some very, very weird plays that brought on their demise. So we just have to wait and see what they're going to change up as we enter round number 3. One thing I'm racing right there is the Clash and Tachanka combo being brought out. You rarely see one of those operators mine 2 at this kind of level, so that's going to be a very, very interesting to see. Another thing that is also of note is the fact that bringing with Legion and Wamai, 2 operators whose gadgets regen over time, so obviously they can't die too quickly. And seeing how long it took Pulsar to do anything in his first 2 rounds, those are probably very smart plays, and we could probably see all of the Goo Mines and all the Wamai discs deployed, given exactly how slow that approach was.
Yeah, and I think that is a really smart play, like you mentioned, getting those rechargeable utilities their maximum usage. It's going to be up to really Pulsar here. I think the onus is on them to adapt. I mean, they had a lucky little bit in the first round, but they don't know, came back swinging and had a very dominating second round. And I think if you're Pulsar here, I want to see a little bit more of an execute earlier, as well as a little bit more aggression coming out. Because right now, I think they're playing too passively. They're not really making headway in these rounds early on in the map to really set themselves up for success. And that's really what we should be seeing, is these early plays to make sure that they can actually have a successful execute with the info that they're getting, but they're a little late to the ball game on a lot of these plays, and it doesn't go in their favor because of that.
Once again, taking the time, though we almost saw a very first engagement there from Zage. However, with that beeper also giving away his location, it is going to be a very difficult push-up now via vending. Those Loyalist drones are going to clear away a bit, but there's only so much they can do. Ace charge is also now being deployed to help them push into that section of the map. However, there's still so much work they have to do. Sure, they can clear out as much as possible, but they eventually have to go in and take those gunfights. These also being deployed to clear out a corridor 4 versus 5, as the very first player on the side of Pulsar does fall. However, Tia gets another one, evening it out back to a 4v4. With half of the round gone, 2 players down, one on each side. Once again, it is a surprisingly slow approach compared to what we saw in that very first game, with a much faster way of doing pretty much everything in a round when it comes to the attack.
And I think that just shows the dichotomy of the squads that we're looking at. One is a little bit more slow, potentially a little bit more methodical, but definitely one that I worry about their execution, with how long in the round they wait to actually put something off without getting the intel that you would normally have at that point. But as we're looking into this, they do have a 1-person advantage right now, as Gravity and Maxito are off the table right now, as it's only Storm that has dropped. As there's the diffuser dropping. It's a 3 for 2 and a trade there. Good start there for Pulsar to get the trade back, but they gotta have more, because they're about to have a massive execute. As that was quick.
Yep, things escalated extremely quickly there towards the end. After we're saying that we're, really kind of taking their time, as such, we're now seeing a 2-1 score for Pulsar. And it's still a bit too early, I'd say, to definitively say which way this half will go. I'd say we still have to wait for a couple of more rounds and see, because these are 2 teams I am very unfamiliar with in terms of their playstyle. So we have to really analyze how they're gonna react to being down around, how they're gonna react to switching sides, or coming back to a side they, for example, played on before but lost, to really get a sense of what they'll be like as a team for the rest of this game.
Yeah, and it's gonna be, I mean, it is a little early, but I think with Pulsar, they were able to pick up that round. I think that was a big round for them to pick up. In terms of like the early stages of this map. Granted, you want to get every round that you can. You want to, close out maps early. But I think that in terms of the mental, it shows a little bit for that slow approach that it does work if you can get the right locations taken early on, because they had good setup around the sites where the rotations were cut off, and that's why the round ended at the drop of a hat, is because they had the rotations cut off and they caught them out in rotation. So if they can do that once again, I think this looks very good for Pulsar. But if they don't know, can adapt to that playstyle and make it so that way the locations that Pulsar grab and hold on to don't have that kind of significance in terms of the rotations, then we'll see. But already Storm coming up big, picking off Watch Doge and putting themselves into a man advantage without taking a single point of damage, I might add.
I think that could be one of the quickest kills so far in this entire game, because usually they wait until, you know, that second or third minute to do much, but no, that's a very quick reminder that they can also do things a bit faster when they want to, when there is that opportunity, and when they don't know, advance a bit too far. However, Zage will get injured, though I think they will be in a recoverable position. Yes, they very much are. Oh, they fell into a frost trap. That's what happened. They managed to get out themselves, but they are currently limping, so that will slow them down and leave behind a trail of blood that a good hunter will be able to track down. 5 versus 2 now. Storm gets one and Tiana gets another, and all of a sudden it seems very difficult for They Don't Know to survive 1 minute 30 of 5 players knocking down the barricades. 4 versus 2 as Makitsu manages to get 1, but there's still 4 more they have to get.
Yeah, as now with it being a 4v2 Pulsar, there's still opportunities here. We've seen the 1v3s happen. They are absolutely something of a miraculous piece to look at, but as the drop down comes through, the verticality is just not there, and it is cut down at the knees, as we saw. Pulsar taking a 2-round lead over They Don't Know. And for They Don't Know, now it's time to start looking at the drawing board, seeing what do we need to change, because clearly what we're doing may not be working. I want to see what they come up differently now, because this is the time before it starts to run away, and then you're in a 5-1 half potentially. That gets really rough if you end this at a 5-1.
We will be going back downstairs for this site. In terms of who they are bringing, we see quite a few switch-ups here. I don't believe they brought, for example, a Smoke before, though they are still sticking with ones like Mute and Legion as well. Mirror is, of course, a pretty standard one as well for this site, but look at that. Look how much util they are also already using upstairs as well. They do not want to lose that vertical control. I think that the general plan will be to make it a bit more difficult for Pulsar to just walk around like they'd just been invited into the place. They want to make it a bit more of a challenge for them to actually grab those upstairs areas before they can actually make their way down. That's going to not only slow them down, but if they can, you know, pick up a couple of kills here or there, that is, of course, a big bonus as well. We see setup happening on yellow as well, so we can expect them to have quite a few of the members on those top floors, and maybe they won't retreat as quickly as they did last time, because last time that was one of the things. They left the positions very quickly, but given how much util they have upstairs, I don't think they want to abandon it too fast.
No, they don't. And it's something that we need to see from They Don't Know. They need to stand their ground a little bit more, make sure that the angles that they're holding are angles that they can defend themselves. I think a lot of the issues that we've seen from them so far is they're getting caught out, as we see once again, without putting out any other damage. They're dropping. Last round, it was Watch Doge. This time it was Maxito. And for They Don't Know, now it's a complete 4v5 with everybody on Pulsar at full health. And that is a very rough thing, as once again, that is 2 kills now. Tia coming in huge, picking up Gravity as well without taking a single point of damage before now finally dropping to Kingslayer.
In this 4 versus 3 situation, anything is possible, like for example returning to 3v3 almost instantly. The Might will finally get the wall. I wonder if they're aware of the mirror on that kind of hard angle there. Another one will go down as Zage managed to get a Ritz, leaving it down to just King and Watch Doge. King manages to get 1, bringing it into a 2v2 situation. We do see 1 entering through the yellow doorway. King still upstairs waiting for anyone to come, but I don't think he's aware exactly how deep the opponent already is on yellow. Ares, under the cover of smoke, does go in, trying to find a good position to plant, but instead he finds his Watch Doge, and Watch Doge finds Zage as well, ending this round out for They Don't Know.
Huge plays there from Watch Doge to bring that back from the brink of disaster, as it was a 3v5 that Watch Doge clutched out there at the end in a 2v2, essentially just a 1v2 since they picked up the double kill. But with They Don't Know now, best hoping for a 3-3 half. Worst case scenario, it's 4-2. That's not bad for your defensive half. There's just a lot of siege still left to play, and it feels like They Don't Know might be the kind of team that likes to ramp up a little bit as the map drags on. Now, this is Team Pulsar's map, so we have to keep that in mind as well as we're in this setup phase. So Team Pulsar, conventionally speaking, should be winning this map since it is their map pick and the one that they chose first, but you never know what can happen. They Don't Know can absolutely come back and sweep the next half and just totally take over like we saw in our first series. But it'll take a lot from They Don't Know to pull that off.
Absolutely. And I do believe it could still very much be a split half here, because a 3-3 is very much possible, given how we've seen they can win in very, very difficult circumstances these defensive rounds. One thing I'm already noticing is the Amaru being brought out here. I wonder if they were going for that kind of very popular strat right now of just going in as Amaru into that regular B-side window and then just planting, getting out, getting in when necessary, etc, etc. But it's a very kind of strange back and forth that does usually work out very, very well. I'm wondering if they kind of meant to spawn where they did, or why they are taking the time to go to the other side of the map. Maybe just to throw them off a bit, because that way it's not quite a rush, but they're not quite waiting to the last minute. Maybe there's some strategy there, and maybe they just forgot where they're spawning. I don't know. Anyway, we're preparing for that kind of rush that will most likely be happening with the assistance of the Amaru, most likely with the Capital and Gridlock standing on side as well, with the Ares supplying the pings and B-bombs as well.
That it is looking to see where Pulsar decide to make their entry. As we know, they like to play methodically. They get some good picks off in the early stages. They just need to, come back and close it out in the latter stages, like we saw them unable to do in the last round. So for Pulsar here, it's all about just mentally not letting that get to you and saying, hey, we still got this. We're still good. Let's just play our game and we should win out. Another very slow round coming out from Pulsar. Minute 25 left on the clock, and there hasn't been a single point of damage put down by either squad just yet, as Pulsar are really taking their time. As does not look like it's going in their favor, as Makitso finds the first kill before it being immediately traded back by Zage there, and it is just a flurry of kills back and forth.
Yep, that Amaru didn't really do much of anything as I expected before Tia finally got taken down. And in fact, Pulsar as a whole have been doing, surprisingly little so far, given how they lost 2 people already. But thankfully, they do manage to even it out as Ares gets King. All of a sudden, it's 3v3, and with 45 seconds left, it is still very much anyone's game. Storm gets Gravity as Pulsar yet again have the man advantage here. But Watch Doge brings it right back, though. One effective 1v1 as Watch Doge will be down. It's all down to Storm, but Ritz is faster, and with that Sterling SMG on thrust, he's able to secure another round for They Don't Know, bringing us into an even half.
Even half indeed, as now Pulsar are going to be on the defense. They Don't Know on the attack. We'll have to see if They Don't Know take this same kind of approach of slow, methodical, waiting for the last 60 to 90 seconds before executing on the map, or if they decide to go and maybe take a leaf out of the PBX playbook of an absolute blitz rush of the sites and kind of catch Pulsar off guard. We're going to find out here in just a few short seconds, as we are in the prep phase right now.
We are once again going down upstairs, so a side we've seen the most today, as Pulsar now preparing for that very first defensive round. So I wonder if it's going to look very similar to what we've seen from They Don't Know, or are they going to cook up something completely different? We do see them extending it all the way up to that wall in the upstairs office as well. So we can expect that there won't be much action in that area. They could probably give it up for free, but just hope that those reinforced walls will keep them at bay. One obviously very popular trick there is to try and lob a C4 over those reinforced walls. So we could probably see something very similar to that happening as well, given how they have some C4s on hand there with the mute. But right now, yep, it's just a kind of waiting stage, seeing where They Don't Know. We'll try to poke at the defenses, see where there's some weak spots potentially. Just a few bullets here or there, trying to get some kind of early reaction going from Pulsar.
As we wait and see what They Don't Know decide to do, it's gonna be, oof, cameras are getting close. They almost were spotted there. As there has been no contact just yet, but I mean, it's expected to, as we've seen what these two squads like to bring to the table, is there's first contact onto Kingslayer, dropped down 71 health, but nothing else coming from it just yet. No info being drawn either, which is crucial.
Well, they are aware of a potential player there in Vending. They have already slightly retreated back, and Ritz does definitely have his Flourish drones to try and clear them out, but they are also very much aware of him as well because of that goo mine going off. Anyway, almost half the round gone, still no kills on either side, just a few ticks of damage here or there, mostly on They Don't Know. So it is just about trying to find that kind of weak angle. They are being very, very patient, trying to wait for Pulsar to make a mistake. But right now they aren't making any. They aren't giving them anything. They are very much just waiting for Pulsar, for They Don't Know to come to them.
They are, and I think this is a good play for Pulsar. You know, they have really good gunplay. They're ready and waiting. As you can see, Zage has taken a little bit of damage, but nothing detrimental, as it was traded heavily back onto Gravity, who's down to 26 health. These are going to be the moments where, for the side of They Don't Know, they've got to start and execute right now, else they're going to run out of time. And it's now or never, and that's going to be very difficult, as Pulsar are ready and waiting, and they know exactly where they are. As we can see the prone here.
Almost in the final 30 seconds, but still, no one has gone down. Storm in a very tight position. They're expecting someone to rush, and oh, there it is. King is the very first one to go down. Through the flash, they're able to do it. He gets, Storm manages to get that one, Tia gets another, and all of a sudden it is a 5 versus 3. 5 versus 2 now, as Zayd gets one. Storm gets finally shut down. Tiana does manage to get a Ritz, though, who poked his head out of there into Vending Office. Now it's just down to Gravity on Spiral, but Dice dispatches him.
Really well played from Team Pulsar to just sit back and wait. They knew that where the side of They Don't Know had to come from, and so Pulsar decided to hold their corners, not overextend, not overpeak, and just let the play happen and understand that, hey, we have our positions, we're fairly well defended, and we feel that we can win out on the gunfights. And they absolutely blasted through those gunfights. So for the They Don't Know, a little bit quicker and something that isn't as readable, because it felt like Pulsar was just reading out of an instruction manual of what They Don't Know was wanting to do. And for They Don't Know, it's heavy adaptation time, because you're coming up on the point of backs against the wall where nobody wants to be.
Absolutely. Anyway, it is a 4 versus 3 scenario. Pulsar right now showing off a very strong start of their defensive half. Will that keep up, though? We already see quite a few changes happening on They Don't Know. Like, for example, bringing in the brand new recruit Striker into the mix as well. And I don't believe they brought Damos in the previous round either, so that's going to be switched out by the... it's going to be switched out instead of the Ash. So they want a very... From what I see so far, I definitely want to see exactly what the Striker brought there in a second. But in general, they are keeping... Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, Observer. They are bringing the hard breaches and the impact EMPs. So they'll be going for the walls, obviously, with quite a few for them to get on the basement side. And that plus the Ace will have given quite a bit of flexibility and hopefully enough time then to waste, given the Tabarao and the carry they have to deal with. So the quicker they manage to get those walls, obviously the better for them. Now, the Deimos is already going on the hunt. First on the castle, suspecting them of roaming, and they are roaming very, very quickly. On the very other side of the Runa Inn, grenades will be launched out to try and provoke a reaction. Some shots being fired from the rover, and Makitsu does manage to finally finish him off. Some great team play there from the two of them.
That is very true, as with They Don't Know in a very good position, having a two-man advantage over that of Pulsar. It's Dice and Zage that have fallen, two of the heroes of some of the last rounds, as it is going to be on Tia, Storm, and Ares to really pick up that slack. Now, they've already taken down Magzito. There's still a long way to go, though, with Watchdoge, Gravity, and Kingslayer, and Rizzo still available for They Don't Know, and they are on the hunt. They are looking, and they are about to find some of their prey. There that goes. Traded back, though, well. It's now a 2v2 with Tia and Storm versus Rizzo and Watchdoge. It's a 2v1 as a triple kill coming through for Storm.
And all of a sudden, Rizzo is left in a very unfortunate situation, trying to... But all of a sudden, he found himself in a 1v1, but Tia shuts him down before any hopes of a clutch could even come to his mind.
Really well played there by Tia to bring that back. And from Storm as well to pick up that triple kill and to delay just long enough for Tia to get into position to pick up the final kill after their teammate went down. So really well played on the team aspect of the game there. And now it's backs against the wall, essentially, for the side of They Don't Know. They need to get they basically need to get 3 rounds without dropping any to not be forced into an overtime situation, and that's going to be very rough for them, as it felt like they haven't really had an idea of what they wanted to do on this attack half that Pulsar haven't already known in advance. So for They Don't Know, it's all about the adaptation once again. They almost had it in the last round, they just couldn't quite clutch it out in the end.
Yep, it could have very easily have been a clutch there, but unfortunately it wasn't, because we've seen what kind of player Rizzo is. He can very much win those kind of situations. I mean, just look at those 7 kills right now, tied with Watchdoge as the most lethal player on They Don't Know so far this game. Now, it is a 5-3 situation, which is a very dangerous score in Siege, because that is just 1 point away from being on match point. So they really have to try and turn things around here before they are 1 map down. In terms of what they're bringing to the attack, we do see quite a few changes here. For example, the Hibana is the primary hard breach. We do see a Bravo, we do see a Ram. We do see quite a few very interesting choices on that front. However, it feels like Pulsar could have an answer for pretty much everything they have. Anyway, Gravity is the very first of the 4 as Tia just swings during the reload there. That is just really good and played out by Tia with some great patience there. Dice gets another one on Doge. Tia gets another one as the attack is just crumbling around them. They're being patient. They're allowing They Don't Know to just forget about an angle, to forget about some possible way of getting killed from one way or another. They're just being clumsy in the situations that Pulsar are able to capitalize on instantly. And they almost just did it again over there on Skylight.
That they did, and it's once again They Don't Know in a rough position against Pulsar, and it doesn't even look like They Don't Know has an opportunity, has even basically gotten back into the building yet. That's how far they've been pushed out by this Pulsar squad, and just how dominant Pulsar has been on this defensive half of the map so far. And for They Don't Know, honestly, I don't know myself where they go from here, because clearly I don't think they know either, as they have been a little bit of a fumbling sack as the round has gone on. Now, Makitsu does bring back a kill onto Tia, and trading rounds with another one of the players as they do get onto the first floor here. It's getting close, though.
Yeah, Ares is down, so it's an effective 3 versus 2 now, a proper 3 versus 2. It is still possible, and with quite a bit of time to work with, 45 seconds in siege time, that's quite a lot. However, Mekitsu is just one scratch away from death, and he will get a Gmod point there as well, making things a bit more difficult, wasting those precious seconds that he's aware to play there in office, always gets him, but unfortunately not enough. Stun grenades will be thrown out, and he tried, and he expected a rotate there from Dice, but no, Dice just wait him out, and just like that, he's able to continue defending Diffuser over there, meaning that it is going to be a very, very difficult for Rizzo to do anything now. Zage now just looking outside, seeing maybe he's outside somewhere. Rizzo has very little choice. Oh, he's seeing a run out, trying to find where the last player is. And I actually can't see where is the last player. Interesting.
No idea. Very interesting play there by Rizzo, basically taking an unofficial timeout of sorts, as there was just no time left on the clock, to talk it over with the team a little bit and figure out what do they do, because Pulsar have had an instruction manual of how to defend against this they don't know squad. And for Pulsar, they just have to continue doing what they're doing. They're playing it beautifully. It's 6-3 right now, and they are on track to make this a 7-3 map here on Consulate to start things off in this best of 3.
And if this goes the way of Pulsar, it is going to be, I think, very, very difficult for They Don't Know to keep up at that point. We saw that in that previous head-to-head I mentioned, it was 8-6. That was very close. However, now it is not even a bit closer, right? You'd expect that they'd at least try to improve, make it even closer, if not win with Pulsar after that time they had to, reconsider. However, I don't think they even bring this into overtime, seeing how they've been playing on attack, seeing how easy it has been to dispatch every single member of They Don't Know, time after time, with pretty much no response, no refrag, no anything.
Yeah, and it's going to be up to They Don't Know now, truly backs against the wall. They have to get 3 in a row just to get to overtime. I'm not favoring them here, I'll be honest here, Vrona, as things are not looking good for them, as you can see Gravity putting some rounds into the building, but no one stepping into that, as we just don't like that tree in general, I think. That just... that tree is not allowed to live through all of this.
Once again, the attack is taking things very slowly, just making sure that the approach is clear and doing some research with those drones. The very first wall there on yellow will go. However, Gravity is just not quite... Oh, sorry, that wasn't a wall. I believe that was the bathroom window there that was destroyed by the ash. And for that, Gravity is still not very willing to go in. The incendiary bolt there will actually scare off one of the players from his position. Zage will have to rotate out, though he doesn't get caught out in the process. While They Don't Know are very slowly gaining ground. Once again, Pulsar being very, very patient, waiting for They Don't Know to do something that they can exploit.
Yes, I think this is the absolute proper play by Pulsar. Just sit and wait for They Don't Know. It works. It's worked the past few rounds. No need to change it up again, as They Don't Know they're running out of time. Minute 20 left on the clock, and still no closer to making a play, as they're actually farther back now after losing Kingslayer in that duel against Tia.
Another one does go down as Makitso gets taken out by Dice, even with... Oh, Gravity just managed to get one. Zage gets an immediate trade onto Gravity, making a 4v2 situation. All of a sudden, with just 50 seconds left, They Don't Know find themselves with just 2 players and 1 mighty tasks in front of them. Rizzo tries to get one, very unaware of where everyone could be coming from. He does manage to get one in like crossfire though. However, one more player right in the doorway. Watch Doge does manage to get Zage, bringing him to a 2 versus 2. Is it possible? With what? Maybe like 40 HP between them. Are they able to actually do something? Storm manages to finally put down Rizzo, leaving that just down to Watch Doge. And his... Oh, Storm, however, is the one to finally secure it out with a C4 kill to finish off map number 1. And Pulsar went out in quite good style.
That they did, as Pulsar have taken a quick and dominant first round victory over the side of They Don't Know. Now moving into map 2, which is going to be Night Haven, what are you wanting to see out of They Don't Know for them to come back and force an decisive map 3 on Chalet?
The main thing that they haven't been doing is being able to do anything about actually getting closer to the objective without losing quite a few players. We saw that Pulsar were just being patient a lot of the time. In the meantime, They Don't Know. They were the ones that just walked in without much of a plan and were paying the price every single time. And okay, not everything always goes to your plan, that's fine. But if it doesn't go according to your plan, at least get the refrag. We didn't see any of that either, which is something that they very much have to work with if they want to try and improve that score going into map number 2.
That they do. And a quick update before we go to break on the other series today. EWAVE Esports has taken map 3 over that of Project Black X. So unfortunately for Project Black X, they are going to be going home, whereas EWAVE Esports has punched their ticket to the playoffs. So congratulations to them. Sad times for the squad of Project Black X. I know they'll come back stronger and better for the next one, but for us right now, we're going to send it to a quick break while we prep for map 2 between Team Pulsar and They Don't Know. So don't touch those browsers, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. Hello and welcome back to map 2 between Team Pulsar and They Don't Know. We saw on map 1 between these two squads that Team Pulsar took a 7-3 victory over that of They Don't Know. Now, Avrona, we've hashed a little bit about what happened in Consulate, but now we're moving on to Nighthaven. What are you expecting to see out of this?
Now, Nighthaven is a map that is relatively new, but has been in rotation long enough that teams really should know how to play it. It is a really interesting map, depending on how it's played, with each side being played completely differently. It is one where you really do have to control quite a bit of the map, and you have to be very wary of potential retakes and flanks them. Quite a few potential angles, and like I said, every single side is played very differently. In terms of what They Don't Know have to do, is better react to what Team Pulsar are throwing at them, and definitely be in a position where they can work with each other. If something does go down, are they able to do a refrag? Are they able to trade out? Because we haven't seen any of that so far, and that's been very much hurting their chances to, once again, swing around back into their favor. So far, especially as we saw in that kind of second half where Pulsar were in defense, they really didn't even do that much. They just waited for They Don't Know to not pay attention for one split second, and they're able to take beautiful advantage of it. And especially with the kind of very strong teamwork they had going on, it was, wow, a perfect recipe for a 7-3 score.
Absolutely. With that, we're going to send it to a quick word from our sponsors before we get into the map. So we will be right back, and we are going to have an exciting map on our hands. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you on the flip side. Huge shout out to IT Discount 24 for sponsoring the PBX Pro Series 6. IT Discount 24 is your refurbished IT partner. Head on over to their website or eBay shop posted in the chat to find all your refurbished PC needs. Whether corporate or private, they'll have you covered. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are going in hot and heavy with these operator bans. Monty already taken off the table. Avrona, is this something you expected coming out of labs?
Shields are still very strong no matter the map, and especially Monty. He is very, very powerful in this current meta, so I wouldn't be surprised. And there it is, the second man is once again Blitz, so we won't be seeing any of these shields. There are some maps where all of these shield ups are definitely a lot stronger. Nighthaven, yeah, they can definitely do a lot of damage. There's some areas where they are extremely annoying in a lot of the doorways upstairs on mezzanine. And a lot of those, choke points, they are extremely, extremely powerful. But that's the case for most maps right now because of just how oppressive those shields can be. So that's why they're getting nerfed. And coming next season, Tubarao will be the very first defender to get banned, followed up by who's going to be a second. It is going to be Azami. Again, absolutely no surprises there.
No surprises indeed, as Tubarao and Azami round out the final two bans for us, and we're going to get into going to the command center and servers first on this map. And so far, it's going to be some interesting times. Pulsar starting off on the defense here. We saw their defense on Consulate was very laid back. We're going to sit back. We're going to let you make the mistake, and we're going to capitalize on that. Is this something you think we can expect here on this map as well? Or are they going to take a slightly more aggressive approach and maybe look for an aggressive peek or two onto what They Don't Know are attempting?
It depends on how confident they are. However, if there's anything the last game shown is that they really don't have to. They can just play their game. They can take the time, and they still go pretty much unpunished for taking a more passive style to their defense. So They Don't Know, either just have to stop feeding into that or find a way around it.
That they do. We're going to find out in just a few short seconds here as we get out of the setup phase and into the action phase here, as They Don't Know are making their approach now. It'll be interesting to see what they have up their sleeves to maybe come out with a dub on this map and force us to the ever-deciding map 3 on Chalet. But we won't know what's going to happen until we get into it, and we are just about there with 2.5 minutes still left on the clock. Minor entries being made, but nothing substantial as of yet.
Yes, they don't know, once again taking time and doing what they have to, but it appears that 2 of them may already... Oh, no, sorry, I was looking at a wrong thing there. But, yes, they are taking a very safe angle there, as you can see on an IT breach. The second wall of the connector is also now going down. They did actually go double hard breach there, with a Thatcher to support both of those endeavors. Not that I actually need too much support there, given how the only thing they brought to actually protect those walls was a mute. Now, as they're able to make their way into connector, and there's some fire there from, I believe that was electric, they're able to make this house comfortable, going into electric, trying to claim all outside the map, while also providing pressure from most lucky IT. I wonder though if that... Oh, we see the very first kill as Ares just managed to get gravity. He got a bit too aggressive there going into electric. Being very cautious while Ares is being constantly pinged by those bees. He's still not popping a go canister within the actual electric room. And none of that really matters because look at how many bodies that Pulsar were just able to win there. All of a sudden, it is a 3v1, technically a 2v1, as Dice is currently down. Ares, who so far secured most of the kills, apart from one belonging to Storm, and he... Ooh. Watch Doge almost gets one more, but it is still a far cry from a winnable situation for him. Granted, there's still 1 minute for him to potentially rotate to get an easy pick hero there. However, if both sides just play together and communicate, which we know they can do very, very well, it is going to be very, very difficult for Watch Doge to do anything here. And it is going to be Zage to finally dispatch him from this world.
And that will be that on this round. A good start there for... excuse me, for Pulsar. As we get into this, Pulsar doing exactly what they need to once again to clutch out that round, secure themselves the early lead in the round count here on Nighthaven Labs. It's going to be up to They Don't Know to now work on their adaptation some more. They went back to the drawing board during the break, I would hope, and tried to come up with something new because whatever they were doing wasn't working, and so far, the new stuff isn't quite working out in their favor either. Now, this is They Don't Know's map, so we have to keep that in mind, as hopefully they're a little bit more comfortable on this map than they are on Consulate, and we might see some interesting aspects of that come out. But until that happens, I think we are favoring Pulsar to win this just sheerly by how comfortable they feel with They Don't Know's playbook in their hands.
Yep, we've seen that even when the map has changed, Pulsar are still able to really dominate on defense. Granted, it got kind of close there. It was still a 2v1. However, just the amount of chaos that happened in the middle that Pulsar were just able to capitalize on, and They Don't Know just weren't able to do too much against, was actually very weird to watch in a way. I really, really do love that even when a chaos is happening, there's a composure to Pulsar. And again, I want to come back to that, I believe was the mute hanging out there on that electric doorway. Being so patient, even being pinged by bees. Even knowing there's people there, he didn't pop that go canister, he just played for time. He knew that he'd be able to just swing that shotgun. It was just really great patience, great discipline in everything that Pulsar was doing there. Even if, again, it did get kind of close.
Yeah, it was close, and that's a good start for They Don't Know. They just can't quite clutch it out in the end, and we saw that a few times on the last map as well. As they got it close, they just couldn't get it over the finish line, but that's the start that they're looking for. Rizzo right off the bat, taking down Tia and Makitso, comboing for Storm. It is going to be taken back just a little bit, but the start there was massive for They Don't Know.
And then look at that, the diffuser is already going down. Ritz will also go down. However, oh no, Kingsley is taken down by Dice just before the diffuser is finally planted. Dice will also go down, making a 2v2 situation. Ares and Zage, the two kind of pillars when it comes to Pulsar and getting kills right now. They are still up and alive, trying to hunt down Gravity, who is still on side, and it gets finally taken down, leaving it just down to Makitsa. Now, thankfully, with his gadget, he should be able to track down where the two remaining players are, but it's still going to be a tough ask with so much going on, with just 29 HP left. and just so many unaccounted angles he has to watch out for, all on his very lonesome, and it's Zage who will finally take him out.
Started off really strong for They Don't Know, and then just got demolished by Pulsar there with the counterattack. And for Pulsar, it feels good that even though you took a 2-punch hit to the face, you were still able to counter it effectively, throw some sluggers back, and take the round in your favor. Now, for They Don't Know, good start. Weak on the finish. That's something that they've been struggling with. They seem to have a good idea of how to start the rounds. It's clutching them out in those tight moments that they haven't quite figured out yet, and that's something that they're gonna need to figure out quickly, or else I don't see them progressing further on in this tournament, and they're gonna drop this series 2-0.
It'll be a painful way to go. However, if they don't change something up, that could go their way, especially because they are, going with that attacking half first. If it's going to end up being some kind of 6-0 half where Pulsar are just one good attack away from winning it all, that is going to be a very, very annoying and frustrating situation for They Don't Know to be in.
It is a very frustrating situation when everything you try is just shut down, and shut down so heavily that it doesn't even feel like you have a chance hardly, as we are back into the action phase here for They Don't Know, and this is their time. This is when they need to come up big. If they don't make it here, I don't see this half nor this map going well for them, and this is their map pick. And again, they don't look comfortable. They don't look like they have a game plan in the way that they would need to in order to win out on these rounds and push Pulsar to a third map.
I think a third map right now is a very tough ask unless they don't really change something about the play style. Anyway, we do see them securing quite a bit of a top floor already, with Watchdog on the Deimos going out for the hunt. We do see quite a strong presence there upstairs with quite a few reinforced walls, and Zage will be the very person to get a kill this time around onto Rizzo. Adding yet another kill to his KD. That thermite charge is only now being deployed after waiting for that signal, after knowing it's giving it an all clear from the Deimos. 5 versus 3 as Tio takes Kingslayer. He gets yet another one onto Watchdog, yet another one with Ares. Oh, it's a complete massacre, leaving just Gravity as all of his teammates just disappeared around him, while he is able to peek through that IT wall. He's chased out very quickly by Tia, trying to find a different way to at least get into the building and try to achieve something here.
They are looking. It's Gravity on 25 health and a Dream. They're going to find one. They're going to find two. Gravity coming up big, looking for the third with the verticality. Not quite going to find it there, as they have the diffuser in hand. They're hunting, knowing that time is of the essence to make something happen here, as everything is against them right now. But so far, they've managed to come out the other side unscathed. Now, with everything going on in this map, this is going to be a hard ask, as everybody else is at full health still, but he's found another. He's got the triple. It's going to be close.
It is. He still has quite a bit of time to work it, and that's the thing. Sure, you can wipe out his entire team in like the first minute, but then when you leave that one attacker so much time to work with, he can just stalk the map. And look at that, trying to get a plant down. Is he faking, or is he actually going to be able to do it? Oh, Storm was there first, but look how close that diffuser was. If he managed to sneak all the way into sight and get a diffuser down, that was going to be a huge embarrassment for Pulsar. I think it's still quite a weird situation that he managed to get the defense in there. There was just this one person that they were all looking for that was spread out so far and wide across the map that they were being picked off one by one. And it got down to the wire, and a lot closer than I originally imagined that would get down to. And huge props to Gravity for being able to withstand the pressure of being alone against 5 people who do not want you in that building, and getting at least 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, Gravity tried their best to clutch that round out, and they almost had it. But it shows just how much they don't know still has to do before it feels like they can actually win a round. They get close. They have flashes of brilliance from their players, but it's a too little, too late situation. And Pulsar once again just had numbers advantage, and were able to come away with the victory in that round once again. So for They Don't Know, they need to continue on the trajectory, but speed up the process. It is at a point where you can no longer just be giving rounds over freely the way you are. Yes, they're close, but it's at the point where you need to be taking them. And if you're not taking them, you're not going to win this map. And we said it earlier that, you know, a third map is a hard ask for They Don't Know right now, but it's an ask that has to be made if they want to continue on in this tournament, as their adaptations have not been working out in their favor so far.
Absolutely. They still have a bit of time to learn from the mistakes, try to secure at least 1 or 2 rounds here before the half switch, to try and rescue map number 2 here, to try and achieve anything on Nighthaven before going home in a 2-0 scoreline. Almost 1 minute in, they are getting into position. We do see a very kind of similar setup for the most part. We do not see the Deimos being brought out again. I don't believe I saw a single kill actually be achieved with that Deimos so far by They Don't Know. So maybe it's smart they're not bringing him this time if they're just not able to capitalize on it. Watchdog taking a bit of damage and finally getting taken down. Gravity, Ritz follow suit, while Watchdog is technically still alive. Kingslayer and Watchdog now finally confirmed it is completely out of the control of They Don't Know. They're just unable to achieve anything here. Well, granted, they're able to get 2 kills. However, it's once again too little too late. Now, Makitsu has a very difficult task ahead of him, but we saw what can be possible when you have a bunch of time left. He does actually get 1 more kill, making it 2 versus 1, and he's actually very aggressive on that wall there, looking into sight, but Erase there with a shotgun finally shuts down any hopes of an ambitious comeback there.
Yeah, I mean, another good look by another player of They Don't Know. You can see the individual skill is there. It's the protocols. It's the team play. It's the what do we do in these scenarios? How do we make this happen? We saw them all die in the same hallway. There was no other entries, and you can't be caught out in those kinds of scenarios. It was a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch that left only the last player standing of They Don't Know, and they were able to bring it back a little bit, but it just was too little too late, like you said. And once again, They Don't Know is in a deep, deep hole that they have to try to climb themselves out of. The best they can hope for is a 4-2 half here, and I think that's going to be an even bigger ask than hoping for a map 3 at this point, because with how Team Pulsar are playing right now on the defensive half, it's going to be They Don't Know on the defense that really has to bring it back. I don't see them taking a round on the attack.
Yes, it will be very, very difficult. But at the same time, if they do go 6-0, they are going to be plagued. Their attacking half, their defensive half is going to be plagued by the fact that they will be 1 round away, 1 mistake away from going home. So it is going to be huge, huge pressure. If they can get at least 1 round here, that is going to be huge for them. They are bringing their Deimos back yet again, after I critiqued them for not making too good use of them before. Maybe finally they'll be able to get, secure at least 1 or 2 kills or get some very valuable info on him this time around.
Absolutely. Getting into this round now, They Don't Know is starting their poking and prodding, seeing if they can't find anybody out of position on the side of Pulsar, but of course none of that is happening, as Pulsar are once again just playing the sit back and wait game that they just so love to play here, and for Pulsar it's working. Nothing has to be done about it, as it's all up to They Don't Know to make the plays happen. But Zage already finds Gravity, taking down one of the previous heroes from one of the last rounds, and it's going to be that much more difficult for They Don't Know once again to clutch out this round.
Gravity, once again, not contributing much as the Deimos. I hope this round will be different, but nope, unfortunately it isn't. Some wordplay already being deployed there in IT as they're trying to find any players left on the bomb side below. But unfortunately, Sturm takes out Makitsu with a very well-placed C4. It is going to be very, very difficult for they don't know to really make a comeback here at this point with this kind of play, I fear.
That it will. The comeback play has to be on. They're down 2 players. It's Kingslayer and Rizzo as Watchdoge was taken down by Tia. And it's going to be very, very difficult. The only player to have taken any damage is Zage in their initial duel for First Blood. So for Kingslayer and Rizzo, they got their work cut out for them. There's a long way to go with only 65 seconds left on the clock before they run out of time. And with how much utility is thrown about, they're going to have a very rough time of getting in without having a lot of trouble.
It is now a 5 versus 2. Now we have seen that They Don't Know can actually get some kills in this kind of situation, but Storm with his shotgun is faster, much faster than both Rizzo and Kingslayer, making it a flawless round for them. They Don't Know unable to secure even a single kill, meaning that it is almost a flawless defensive half for Pulsar. And I wonder what's going through the heads of the guys that They Don't Know right now.
I mean, it's not even, you can't even say GG go next map, because this is the next map. This happened in map 1 as well, and now for They Don't Know, it's a scramble. We gotta find something, grab all the darts, find what sticks, and hopefully it's something that we can repeat over and over and over to force a map 3 here. But with how Pulsar are playing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we even see a perfect map here. With how I was expecting, maybe 1 or 2 rounds going over to They Don't Know. But with what's happening right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see a perfect map coming out of Pulsar here.
I wouldn't be surprised either, seeing how confident they are, seeing how they are able to just repel the attack before the attack has even properly begun, I'd say. It is actually insane how quickly they're able to respond to any attempt by They Don't Know to get close to the bomb sites. They are experimenting though, and I like it. I see they are trying different things. For example, now they're bringing out a Nook, they're bringing out a Sense, they're bringing out an Osa, instead to try and spice things up, achieve at least 1 victory here and attack before they'll be left in a very difficult situation. But when you get C4'd so quickly, that it does not bode well.
No, it does not. Already a 4v5 for the attack of They Don't Know, and Pulsar seem to be playing a little bit more aggressive here on the defense of this last round, saying, maybe we can spice it up a little bit and maybe have a little bit more fun. But until everything happens for sure, as that is, they're just opening up their walls right now, and with how everything's going, they might have an opportunity. We've seen them get it close. They just have to get it over the finish line, and right now I don't know.
Yes, it's going to be very difficult, but again, here's hoping that maybe that Nook, maybe that Sense will be able to achieve something, but unfortunately the Sense will go down. Playing that Rizzo, Storm gets him and Ares gets another one. However, they do manage to get Dice at least, so it is a 4 versus 2. Watchdoge missing those bullets there on the player on IT, and he is very much aware of another one potentially being there on Mez. Both very cautious. Ryder, he almost got shot on a retreat there. Finally going down those stairs, avoiding it altogether and trying to approach from a different angle. However, the players over there, as you can see, they're already repositioning. They probably heard him go downstairs and now know to expect him popping up from a different angle. In the meantime, Gravity is already pretty much in lounge. However, he managed to get 1 while Ares does fall. Watchdoge does fall, meaning that it is just Gravity and it is Storm to finish this round off and finish off this half. They are now on match point, and I don't think there's much that They Don't Know can do.
Match point, series point, everything is in favor of Team Pulsar right now. They are feeling themselves, and the rounds have seemed close, but they haven't gone to the side of that They Don't Know. And it's not like they aren't playing well, because they have good moments. Like their executes, whenever they have the numbers are going well to start out, it's just they fall apart quickly thereafter. And so for They Don't Know, it's like they need just a little bit more time in some practice and some scrims to really flush out these these late round scenarios that they seem to be plagued with issues. And if they can shore up those issues, I think there will be a very hefty force to be reckoned with in these matches. But for now, Team Pulsar have their number lock and key. It's in a binder sitting on every player's desk with it's this round and this is what they're going to do. This is where they're going to be. And they're just reading them like a book.
As long as Pulsar don't get too confident, they should very easily end this off in this very round, going through and having they don't know go home. That is, of course, they don't get too overconfident, or they don't underestimate. They don't know on attack, because we are switching halves here. That means that they get to see the complete different side of they don't know. Now they are on attack, and they better give them that time to see what the defense is like first, and they don't just graft what they saw of they don't know's attack onto their defense. Instead, they take time to relearn it and try to find the weaknesses there.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing here. They're taking their time on their entries, not over-aggressing, not trying to, play with an ego and just bum rush in. Instead, they're playing aggressive. They're playing well, but Kingslayer is the first one to pick up a kill onto Tia, and now it's a 1v2 here for Ares as they are looking for a refrag on this. It's going to be difficult as they get taken down, and what looks to be a good look now. It's a 3v3, 3v2 potentially, as the verticality is coming through for Gravity, as Makitso picks up a double kill and really turned this map around, and hopefully they don't know's fortunes along with it.
Oh, but look at that dice with the sneaky nuke there, claiming it right back, turning it back into 1v1. I was just about to say that they maybe just underestimated they don't know a bit, and they didn't expect the attack to have so many layers to it, to have such a strong presence on Vert, for example. But Dice with just that managed to bring it back. However, they did have cams on him, I believe, because that was a very clear attack there from Rizzo with a shotgun, bringing it into 6-1. So it's not over for They Don't Know just yet.
There's hope. It's not easy. You have to play a perfect 5 more rounds to just force overtime for the side of They Don't Know. They need a perfect half when Pulsar got a perfect half, and that was very, very close on that last round. Lucky for them that they had a cam on that one area, or else that could have been a much different looking scenario. But now, for They Don't Know, a little bit lease on life. They have a little bit more rope to play with, to tug on, and hopefully they can make some use of it and tug Pulsar back and force the map 3. But for right now, they have to focus on what's ahead of them, 1 round at a time. They need this second round in their favor. The 8th round overall, as we're getting into the setup phase here, not going to be easy for them, as Pulsar are going to have something up their sleeve to push it into their favor and close out this series.
I think that I still stand by what I said about Pulsar probably underestimating what They Don't Know could cook up on the defense there. And even if Dice kind of brought it back, it was still a bit too late. And you never want to have it go down to a 1 versus 1. There's just too much luck involved there. Now, obviously, there's Siege is mostly skill, but you know what I mean. You're just 1 or 2 bullets away in a single gunfight from potentially winning or losing an entire series. You never really want to be that in that kind of 1v1 situation in that kind of stage of the entire game. Now, hopefully they learn a kind of lesson, and they will take a slightly different approach. And I am very impressed at how They Don't Know were able to get pick after pick after pick, and it was Pulsar who were having a bit difficult reacting, even if in the end they still got most of the members of their team. Anyway, quick approach there on the winner. Zage managed to get Kingslayer before too much damage is done with a very powerful shotgun. Now, still, Zage is down to his 37 HP, but alive, and that is all that matters. And besides, those finger booster will bring him right back up again to a 57. Storm desperately needs it as well, given how he also took some damage already. That vertical play is already being deployed, as we can see, hunting for more players, because they are aware that kind of, how much they don't know probably like vertical after the very first round.
Yeah, I like the vertical play coming out from Pulsar. It's something that any good team knows how to use the verticality of the maps in their favor. And once again, we can see it coming up with them is there's it being turned around as Mikitso finds Storm there, but he trades it back onto Gravity, and it's now a 3v3 with health favoring that of Pulsar here. It's going to be close times no matter how this goes. Either it's going to sweep or it's going to be close. Rizzo at full health along with Ares and TS Zage at 74. And then we have Watchdows at 26 and Mikitso at 40. We're about to have some more action on our hands in just a few seconds as Pulsar is getting ever closer to these bomb sites.
We are now approaching the last minute of the game in a 3v3 situation. It is really anyone's game. Even though Pulsar are the dominant party here, we saw that they don't know they can very much still try and, stick to the guns and really do a fantastic defense as we saw. Even if, again, it did kind of get closer in the end. But that was mostly due to that DICE being able to sneak the way behind all of the defenses. Rizzo hunting for that play on Vert and manages to get a few bullets into Zage, but not too much apart from that. They are very much aware of the danger from the main breach there. With just 19 seconds left, it is a very dangerous situation for Pulsar, given how little time they have left. They will be approaching via Animus, trying to make their way in with in hand. Perfect headshot there, another one behind Tube that managed to trade it out, bring it into a 2v2, and they don't know, take home another round. Look at that.
It's they're clutching these rounds out in these close moments. That this is what we need to see out of They Don't Know, is continued pressure like this, sitting back waiting for Pulsar to make those mistakes, and if they're not able to do that, things are going to go sideways for them. So for right now, for They Don't Know, they need to not give up early kills, but continue this late round dominance that they seem to have on the defensive side for themselves. Overall, though, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a large ask for them still. There's still 4 rounds that they need, and it got close there at the end. And Pulsar are just going to learn little bit by little bit by little bit. And as long it can go, they can get 3 more rounds in their favor for They Don't Know, and they can lose that last one, and it's all over for them. It's an all or nothing deal for them right now, and it's weighty on their shoulders. But for Pulsar, they're still hunting for that ever-elusive 7th and final round to go in their favor, as They Don't Know are setting up their defenses right now, awaiting the onslaught that is Team Pulsar in this 9th round.
I have no idea which way this is going to go. Pulsar, that, really amazing, well-coordinated team, are just falling short here.
Might be muted here.
I am very much. Hopefully you can hear me. I was just saying about how they were a very, well-communicated team. That they are. I have no idea who will be able to take this round. They Don't Know have been able to pull off a very competent defense. And I think a large part of it is that Pulsar just aren't giving them that respect. They aren't doing as much work to earn that ground on the map as they probably should be doing.
Yeah, and for Pulsar, it's all about playing together as a team. They've gotten a little split up these past few rounds, and they haven't progressed as a unit. And I think that's what They Don't Know has exploited to take the rounds in their favor. So for Pulsar, stick as that 5, execute as one unit, and I think you'll get that last round in your favor. You just need that little extra push to get there.
Yes, and I believe Pulsar can very much do it, but with the way that they've been playing, They Don't Know could still very much bring this back, though that still would be kind of a miracle. Though, hey, miracles have to start somewhere. Kingslayer gets Storm, and that is the opening pick in this round. Not much has happened since, even though half of the round is already gone. DICE already trying to find a good and safe way to get into the building, aware of some players being potentially down on Waterfall. Zage takes a bunch of damage as he takes down a cam in IT, and now trying to peek into site itself. It is a very, very slow approach for Pulsar, taking the time, However, they are at least mostly alive apart from Storm, as they're just, checking every possible angle, a bit paranoid almost as they aren't doing as much work as they probably should be about where the attackers actually are. Even if they still have quite a few drones in play with 4, I feel that they should have a bit more intel at this point.
Yeah, I really think so as well, as They Don't Know has had a good defense against that of Pulsar these past few rounds, and once again Pulsar has been stifled a little bit in what they've been trying to do. With 37 seconds left on the clock, time is ticking down for Pulsar to make the action happen, as Dice potentially found someone, but ducking away on the other side of that wall so they don't get caught out. As here's the shotgun. Oh, caught them on the reload.
And just like that, it is actually a 3v3 as Dice gets another one with just 15 seconds left. NATO redeploys. Zage almost gets killed there. However, Rizzo is able to take him down. It gets another one, and all of a sudden it is a 3 versus 1, and that is going to be another round for They Don't Know. These guys are somehow making a comeback now on the defensive half.
This is a huge comeback, especially if they are able to secure it all the way, but that means they also will have to go through overtime, and that's going to be a difficult point for them as well. But for right now, it's again still one step at a time, one foot in front of the other for They Don't Know, as their defensive half has only been getting better and better the longer we are in it. So it's a good thing for them. For Pulsar, you gotta come up with something before they force that overtime, because I mean, I don't know if you have what it takes, if you get those 6 mentally, to come back and win out in overtime, or potentially be forced in that map 3 and put on this performance once again. We'll have to wait and see, though, as They Don't Know are doing their setup, doing their due diligence to make sure that they can have an opportunity at potentially fracturing the mental of Team Pulsar.
They have to do something to slow down that, train that They Don't Know are building, that kind of hype, the momentum that they are bringing into this defensive half, because now they're on a roll. They've shown that they can actually do something. At the same time, they don't want to get, too aggressive. They don't want to get too confident after taking 3 rounds away from Pulsar, who have been, let's face it, dominating them both in this map and also the previous one. So they still need to be disciplined enough to survive that attack from Pulsar, who aren't really changing up too much as far as I can see right now. They're still trying to play the game and do what works for them so far, but have that better communication and have that better strategy in mind on how to tackle these challenges that They Don't Know are placing in front of them.
Yeah, and now with the executes coming through for the side of Pulsar on their execute phase, we'll have to see what they have in mind to overcome some of the obstacles that have faced them in the past few rounds. But for now, just action.
5v5 as the first minute goes down. Gravity, it will be the first one to fall. However, minor hand of, or the gun of Zage. And with those phone calls going out, they are hungry for more as they're trying to locate any of those pesky roamers who could still be left on those upstairs floors. However, Tio will be the next one to go down, meaning no more heavy phone calls. And all of a sudden, it is a 4 versus 4. Are They Don't Know actually going to be able to steal yet another round away from Pulsar? Looks like it. However, Dice will finally bring it back to a 3 versus 3. Some more shots happening over there on the side of Mezzanine. Again, it seems like you don't have enough intel to work with to really understand where the threat is coming from, and while then taking quite a large chunk of upstairs, are they aware of another playing connector? Please tell me that please tell me that you are aware of Rizzo being there, otherwise that could really mess up this entire push for Pulsar if they're just not aware that one player just very patiently waiting it out in connector. They are taking the time, and they still have a minute left. And hopefully that one of these drones will be finally able to spot that player. Rizzo actually taking a step back because I believe a drone may have been in his way. He does have a bulletproof camera there, and of course a default cam to protect him from anyone coming up those main lobby stairs. And with just 40 seconds left, he does manage to get a drone. and it is all just everyone trying to hunt down this one player left upstairs before they can progress downstairs. And there he goes, finally dispatched.
Dispatched indeed, as Dice picks up another kill for themselves. But now with only 25 seconds left on the clock, you need to get to these bomb sites and you need to get this defuse down. There's not much time left to make that happen, so time is of the essence for this execute to come through, and this is when things start to get messy for these players. As there's no time left on the clock. It's 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. They're going to have to stick it, planting the diffuser 1v1, trying to make it happen. It's going to go down. It's now a 1v1 with 45 seconds left on the clock, 40 seconds to go here, as these players now have to try to find it. They're going to be counter-diffusing here, as these players are just wrapping around. Is there going to be enough time? They're going to stick it, and they stick it!
How? How on earth
just
did they
jumped
allow
through
that to happen?
there!
What did I just watch?
I'm at a loss for words.
Same. I say, how on earth can they allow that counter diffuse to go down? Granted, they didn't have a good line of sight, but still, it is a 1v1 situation. You know there won't be another gun pointing at you when you try to jump through that window. And why did they position themselves so far away where it took them a while to even hear if the counter diffuse is happening? Granted, I don't understand how they even allowed a player to get so deep into sight to get a diffuser down in the first place with so little time left. And I do applaud Pulsar for being able to even get the diffuse down with so little time left. But how did they fail to protect it in such a huge way?
Yeah, this could be the mental boom of Pulsar. They got a perfect defensive half. They could feel like, hey, you know, we can sit back on our laurels. We don't have to try as hard. But, I mean, with what's happening now, they may not be able to clutch out this map like we thought they would be able to, and they don't know. It's starting to look more and more the favorites to win out on this map and force a decider map 3 on Chalet. We didn't think this was even going to be a possibility 3 rounds ago, but now it's looking more and more like it will be.
However, what can also very much decide this is overtime and the draw they get there on the rolls. When you have one team just fly through the defensive rounds and the next team also fly through the defensive rounds, whoever gets the fence first may just be the winner. And I hate it just to come down to luck like that. However, that's just kind of how it is sometimes. And if you are a team that only does well on defense and you basically have to rely on luck to get you to the next stage, then at that point, I mean, do you really deserve to win if you have to just basically count on the overtime luck to get you there?
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a very good point there, but for right now, still a little bit left to go for these squads. And now for the side of Pulsar, they're down in a 4v5. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to make this happen.
With Dice gone, they are losing a very valuable member there with those cameras, and they also lose Storm. However, with 3 of the players still left, including Sage, the top fragger right now, they could still very much do something here before they are just 1 round away from overtime, and that would be almost disastrous for Pulsar. And there he goes, just like that. Sage, that top fragger with 11 kills. Unfortunately, Tyre fails to get a kill there on Vending Stairs. And he has to just push his way in, knowing that a player could pop out behind him at any time. Ares also making his way there towards Lounge and towards Warehouse, trying to find anyone. Gravity finally taken down. Makitsu does take out Tiana, however. 1v3 as Ares gets another one. And it is possible, but especially at 13 HP, it is a very big ask of Ares right now.
That it is, as 13 HP and a dream. That dream is slowly fading away as finally Watchdoge takes down Ares, and things are looking ever closer for this overtime. Now, I have gone in and looked. They don't know will be starting off on the defense for overtime if it gets forced there. But right now, Pulsar is taking a timeout.
I think that is the wise thing to do here, given the circumstance. I mean, look at how dominant they were in this map and the previous map, and all of a sudden they are failing, not being able to take even a single attacking round, even though they were able to at least, pull through and do something on attack in the very first map on console. Here, they're just unable to do anything. They are failing the most basic challenges, and I think what sums it up the best is that loss when the diffuser went down. It was just the biggest throw. They were able to just end it all there, but instead they're carrying on because they weren't able to properly play off that defuse. They need to think about how they can work as a team, they can communicate and have a cohesive strategy to clear out the flaws and take down the defenders on the side of they don't know. But first and foremost, they also need to get the drone gate up and have that intel ready to actually go into that site, because they are way too paranoid of where this place could be coming from, and that's costing them a lot of time and a lot of lives. That is why we do see a Deimos and a Dokebi brought out in this round.
Yep, and for the side of Pulsar, stop them now or things might go sideways in overtime. As we get into this, we're just waiting now for the rest of the defense to be set up for they don't know, with 2 seconds left on the clock for them. It's now on to Pulsar to make the plays happen.
Yes, they need to be more aggressive. They need to show that they are able to counter what they don't know are throwing at them, and they need to be... Because here's the thing, they don't know, all we have to do is just sit back and relax while Pulsar are the ones that actually come to them. Because of that, there's a very interesting dynamic at play here. Pulsar need to find a way to finally get over that kind of barrier that of not being able to refrag, not being able to properly respond to the situations, and taking too much time to clear the floors. Do all of that in a single round or risk going to OT? That is a very, very big ask. However, I do feel that with the likes of the Dokebi, with the likes of the Deimos here, the phone calls already being sent out, trying to find those roamers. We do already see them have pretty good control of that middle floor there in kitchen and cafeteria area, and they may end up actually using quite a few of those holes in the ceiling against their opponents as well, if they're able to locate any. We do see that we aren't getting any pings from Deimos either right now. Storm sitting on 3 of his Deathmark drones, just waiting for the right opportunity to be able to go in and use them and hunt for some defenders.
That is true, as we are waiting now for the first kill. This is the slowest round we've had in quite a while from these two squads, as no kills, no damage to be heard of yet, as now we are waiting to see what the execute is going to be from Pulsar. Can they clutch out this round, or are we going to be sent into overtime? That is the question, ladies and gentlemen, that we are waiting for these teams to answer, with only a minute left on the clock now. Things are about to get spicy here on Nighthaven Labs.
They left themselves very little time to work with here. A minute is still quite a bit of time, but seeing how they're not even on the top floor yet, and Storm is the first one to go, so with just 4 people left, the amount of work they have to do is just literally multiplied. Phone calls are coming down to try and find where exactly those players are. However, without that Deimos, it's going to be, of course, a lot more difficult. Flash is now going out because of their Dokebi, as they try to finally make their way in via Waterfall. Smokes are being deployed as a kind of countermeasure, though, however, which will slow down even further, and with just 20 seconds left, it is just not enough time, especially seeing how all 5 defenders are still alive. It is going to be a mad rush, as Dice is just going there through the smokes. Drones being thrown out for some extra info. 3 versus 4, 2 versus 1, 1 versus 4, as an entire attack just completely disappears from this earth, and it is Kingslayer that delivers the final kill, and all of a sudden, we find ourselves in a very interesting situation, ladies and gentlemen.
That we do. But before that happens, we're going to be going into a tech pause for a slight investigation for an illegal skin that may have been used. So while that happens, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send it to a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have the solution of sorts of what the tournament admins are going to be saying about that. So in just a few seconds, we will know. But until then, we're going to send it to a quick break. And when we come back, we'll let you know what the outcome is. So don't touch those browsers. We'll be right back. And we are back into the prep phase where the investigation was held and there was no illegal skin found to be used. So with that, we're back to 6-6. We're in overtime. Avrona, how are we feeling right now about this? Avrona, I don't think. There it is. Now Avrona's mic is coming through.
Yeah, hopefully now it works. Yeah, I feel we had a huge risk right now of being going to map number 3 because Pulsar have drawn attack and they just haven't been able to secure anything on attack so far. Now, granted, maybe that pause is just what they needed to reevaluate what on earth is going on here and why they just cannot attack Nighthaven for the life of them. Maybe they will be able to achieve something here to prevent it from going to over to map number 3 and close it out in just 2. However, you know, seeing how they've been playing, seeing how they don't know just cause, you know, second wind, oh, it could be difficult. However, we almost got the very first kill there onto Makitsu, and it is actually, well, not confirmed yet. It is to be confirmed almost any second now. There it is, with the teabag as a follow-up. Dice, however, will get taken out himself.
Back.
Yes, it is back to a 4v4.
I mean, these teams are going blow for blow right now, trying to make sure that they secure their victories when they can on these defensive halves, because that is what matters most now. Team Pulsar, the onus is on them. They don't want to see a map 3. They got a perfect half, and so did They Don't Know. But Team Pulsar, they're the ones that are wanting it. They're the ones that are hungry, and right now they're the ones in a better position overall in terms of health, with Ritzo down to 22. But it is still now it's back in favor of They Don't Know. 4-3 with Watchdoge picking up Tia. Huge pickups there for them as it is falling apart for Pulsar once again.
It is a 1v3, however, as Zage is able to secure Kingslayer. A minute to work with. Zage can still very much do wonders here. However, does he know where those remaining operators are? And do They Don't know where that remaining member of Pulsar are? He is able to pick up the diffuser very, very easily, as that wasn't looked after at all. Instead, all of the defenders are pretty much on site, awaiting their arrival of Pulsar from one of many different angles. Zage take a bunch of bullets, however, finally takes on Watchdoge. It is a 1 versus 2 situation. He can clutch us out and prevent us from going to map number 3. However, he has so much work to do, and I don't think he has too much info on where his opponents are. He believes there's one person over there. However, he gets swung from 2 directions, and just like that, we go to overtime match point for They Don't Know.
Overtime match point for They Don't Know. Now, they are going to be on the attack, and we have seen in this series that defense is what wins. We have not seen a single attacking round win yet. So for They Don't Know, this is their time to break that momentum for the defense. It's their moment to shine, but it's an uphill battle. And Pulsar, if they win out and they force, they have to win on the attack. No matter what, it is backs against the wall for Team Pulsar to close it out here before being sent to map 3 Chalet. But it's all eyes on Pulsar, who had that perfect side to start things off and then collapsed on the attack. Have not been able to make anything happen. It's do or die. And They Don't Know. I don't know. Does anyone know what we are about to see?
Yeah, Pulsar do need to win this. They have been winning all of their defenses so far. However, they may feel a bit, you know, a bit, how I want to say, a bit discouraged after losing, what, 7 rounds in a row. So hopefully that will not carry over them, and they will be able to just take this defense like they were able to, and then it just comes down to the attack. That one final hurrah that they need to somehow just learn the lessons from all of those 7 lost attacks and figure out what on earth is going on and why they're losing people so quickly. But for now, they need to focus on the here and now. They need to ensure that those last 7 rounds do not influence the one thing they've been doing very, very well, and that's defending.
Yeah, and it is up to Pulsar right now to continue that streak for themselves, as We're waiting to see what They Don't Know decide to do for themselves to make this play work and break that defensive streak that's been happening on this map, but it's going to be rough. But they start off strong. Watchdogs finds Zage, and that's the start that they were looking for. Now, Pulsar on the back foot on the defense. They're able to clutch it out and force a decider round here.
Now with Zage being gone, it is still too difficult to tell, especially seeing how much time they have left. There's so much time for something to go wrong for They Don't Know. And there's also so much time for Pulsar to still mess up or secure themselves a kill. C4 going out, and it will down but not secure the kill on Gravity, because already making his way to probably recover his teammate. I wonder if Pulsar are fully aware that it is just Gravity there bleeding out. I believe they could... I believe someone was going there for the confirm, but no, I believe they're just going there. Teammates going there for a rev. So he'll be back on his feet. That would have been a great opportunity to even it out, but unfortunately, the Grim is back on 20 HP, but he is still alive and kicking.
Yep, and that's a good pickup for the side of They Don't Know to make sure that they can at least have Gravity is at least a bullet sponge for 1 or 2, maybe to create a crossfire of sorts to use as bait. We will have to see, as these are very tight margins at it. It is actually Kingslayer to go down. Big pickup there for Pulsar, as there's only 45 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to be a rough moment for the side of They Don't Know, as they need to start their execute right now, or they're going to be too little too late. But Watchdog finds Tia, and that's the big pickup they needed to keep themselves in the front foot here as this execute goes down.
Yeah, the fire and the Fenrir gas does slow down attack on Mezzanine. Oh, all the kills coming out right now, as it's just one person left on the side of Pulsar. It is just Storm. He managed to pick up Rizzo. He managed to get another one through the actual fire as Gravity tries to make his way in on just 20 HP. Now it's just down to Storm with his powerful shotgun on the Warden to shut down Watchdog. Of course, having those very tight angles, making sure that he can get this over and done as soon as possible with just a few seconds left on the clock. Watchdog, we have to go in. It will just be a battle. And it is Storm taking the kill, securing that next defense round, and bringing us to overtime match point for both teams.
But now it is Pulsar back on the attack for the 15th and final round between Pulsar and They Don't Know on Nighthaven. Pulsar wins this. Series over. They Don't Know goes home. They Don't Know wins this. And we see a map 3. We go to Chalet for another opportunity for both of these squads to potentially punch their ticket to the finals. But for right here, right now, it is up to these squads. It is up to Pulsar to break the streak of defense and secure themselves a spot in the playoffs. Or is it They Don't Know that clutches out and sends us to Chalet?
The thing is that
I'm on the edge of my seat waiting.
Same. But to be fair, even though we talked about how bad the attacks have been on the side of Pulsar so far, there were 1 or 2 rounds where they got so close, but yet so far. And they're probably really kicking themselves right now for how this could have been over long ago. But no, they have to keep on playing, and now it's just turning into an endurance game as well. So I want to believe it's anyone's game. I want to believe that even though Pulsar lost all of the attacks so far, that they can somehow pull through, because they've shown they can, the capability is there. But They Don't Know, they're so fierce at attack, and Pulsar, they have no idea how to react to what They Don't Know are bringing. And that makes this one very interesting overtime match point.
Now it's up to Pulsar. They Don't Know are on the strong foot of sorts in this round right now, but Tia comes up big with a pick onto Gravity to start things off early on in this round. Now hunting for more, but it's going to be traded back as Kingslayer finds Tia in that hallway, and that's going to make it a little bit rough for both of these squads being down these players early.
Yes, I want to say that that entry frag could be what Pulsar need to have the momentum going into this attack, especially seeing how it is the smoke, the person that can really prevent you from entering inside in those last crucial minutes. And we saw that Pulsar really had to take the time, but now it got even out, doesn't really matter, especially now Kingslayer also takes down Dice, meaning that once again ESPORTS are at a man disadvantage and it is not looking good for them. However, the night is still young. We still have over 1:40 left of this round. Walls are still being breached. However, there's still so much work for them to do. One of those tasks, getting rid of Kingslayer, has been achieved. And it looks like they'll be able to access the defender camps now, thanks to the okay, but aware of someone being in cafeteria. They're taking the time to clear it out. 3 versus 2, 2 versus 2, 2 versus 1 as trade after trade comes out in cafeteria. No way. Can Pulsar actually do this? After losing every single attack, after having no idea how to counter, they don't know, on Nighthaven. Are they actually able to do it in the round that matters the most? With 1 minute left on the clock, all they have to do is find Rizzio, who so far has been so useful to his team, that has provided so many clutch situations, and against Edris and Storm, also two very, very valuable members of Pulsar. 50 seconds left on the clock. Rizzio is approaching, trying to reclaim that part of the top floor from the opponents. And now look at that. Those mirrors are being turned against the defenders. And because of that, no, Ares isn't able to secure the kill. Instead, Mirror has been able to work its way into side with no HP damage. The diffuser is going down. Storm watching the angle does go down. And Rizzo, securing both kills, takes us to map number 3.
And we are going to a map 3 here, ladies and gentlemen, as things got dicey in the end, but they don't manage to figure out what they needed to know in order to clutch out that victory. And for us, we're going to send it to a quick break as we evaluate what we need to do here for Chalet here in just a few moments. Let these players decompress a little bit. Let our hearts settle just a little bit after that crazy time. But for you ladies and gentlemen out there, we'll be right back. You won't want to touch those browsers. This is not a map you're going to want to miss. We will be back shortly. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to the PBX Pro Series 6, where Team Pulsar and They Don't Know are tied up at one map apiece, with Nighthaven Labs going to an 8-7 overtime victory for They Don't Know. And Avrona, we're heading into Chalet of all maps. With what we've seen of these two teams, what are we expecting to see?
It is, I want to say, a toss-up. And I want to say it will come down to who gets the defensive half first, because we saw that is very much the preferred role of both of these teams right here. So I think a lot of it is going to come down to that. Team Pulsar have been, I want to say, in a lot of ways the better team, seeing how they've just completely steamrolled over They Don't Know on Consulate. However, what we saw in Nighthaven, man, they were putting up a great fight, but only on defense. On attack, they just weren't able to make anything happen. All of the strategies just fell out the window and they didn't pull through. So on Chalet, which is a very old map that everyone knows how to play, even in the sleep at this level, it comes down to this. It's just pure skill, no excuses, just pure classic Siege.
Absolutely, and with that, we're going to send it to a quick word from our sponsors so we can get right into this map, because I know it's getting late out there, so we can get everybody going on with their evening. So a quick word from our sponsors before we hop into map 3 Chalet between They Don't Know and Team Pulsar. So we'll see you in just a few seconds. Huge shout out to IT Discount 24 for sponsoring the PBX Pro Series 6. IT Discount 24 is your refurbished IT partner. Head on over to their website or eBay shop posted in the chat to find all your refurbished PC needs. Whether corporate or private, they'll have you covered. And it seems like we're taking just a little bit longer than anticipated to get into game here, as we're waiting for the last bit. We know a little bit about what we're expecting to see on Chalet. Whoever gets defense first is going to get it, and it's going to be Pulsar that is going to be starting out on the defense. These are going to be tough times for They Don't Know, as we are into the ban phase here. We're expecting the shields to be banned, as we've seen in the past two series, or two maps at least, from these squads. So, Avrona, looking past the potential just straight up shield bans that we're expecting, what else are you expecting to see in this ban phase?
Especially going onto the basement side, I can expect bands like Kaid and Mira, very powerful, not just on the basement, but, you know, Mira also on that upstairs side or bar gaming side as well. But on all sides, I would say, really, in this building, Mira is very useful. So I do expect They Don't Know to ban that out. Ying being banned now is very interesting. We saw quite a bit of play of that in the previous two maps, so it does make sense. And it is actually going to be Valkyrie, with how much open space there is in areas like, for example, Fireplace, how many hiding places there are for the various cameras all across the map. It does make sense, and the final ban will be Azami, which has been pretty much the only continuous ban in every single map today.
Yeah, now we do have one shield up and available for us on the attack, and that is the Monty. Blitz was banned, Monty was not. That's something to keep an eye on as we come into this, as They Don't Know elected not to ban it, thinking maybe that's their key to success in getting through and getting a few rounds on the attack off of Pulsar, which has had a stalwart defense over the past few maps we've seen.
Funnily enough, they are actually not bringing a Monty at the very beginning. They are bringing a very kind of default lineup right here for this site. They of course need a hard breach, they of course need someone to support a hard breach, and of course they need someone to actually go in, roam deep, and get those kills like the Nook and the Ash. But the Nook will actually be switched out for a Bravo right here, and the Ace for a more direct hard breach as well.
Looking at the defenses being built here, I want to see Pulsar just stick to what they know, stick to what they're good at, and build those layers in, as that's what's been their successful points on these defense rounds that have given them so much success. And for they don't know, they need to come up with some sort of adaptation to break through, because right now the attacks just aren't working for either squad. But for right now, it's up to they don't know to be the ones to crack the code.
Absolutely. Now, from what we know so far, we can expect that it is going to be Pulsar taking on the the dominant role when it comes to deciding how these defensive rounds of them are played out. They will be the ones dictating how they don't know will be approaching. They will be dictating how exactly this round plays out, and we can see examples of that already with the opening pit right there. However, there's a very quick response as Gravity manages to get here, and Storm is the next one to fall, but not yet confirmed. There he goes, confirmed by Red. So Aries with a very quick response over there, and we're back at a 3v3. Though Gravity himself is very badly wounded, he's still up and running.
Good start for both squads here. I think slightly better for They Don't Know, who typically at this point in the round would be down, and they are technically down in terms of health, but instead Rizzo finds the vertical kill there onto Dice, and that's a huge pickup. Dice being one of the mainstays of the kill feed for this squad. Now it's going to be up to Sage and Aries to really make the plays happen for Pulsar. Otherwise, They Don't Know will take the first attacking round and over a map.
That would be very interesting, as we were told that that previous map was actually the very first one in PBX history where no team won an attacking round. However, we could already be seeing that kind of trend reverse here, as They Don't Know have a very slight advantage. They still have plenty of time. They have maybe not much U2 left, but still enough to do something with. While it is Pulsar who are having to really change up how they play and having to reposition, and as now it's just Sage left as his teammate gets taken down, and all of a sudden he's faced with a 1v3 situation, having to somehow survive 14 more seconds of this. Or he does have quite a few bulletproof cams all over the place, letting him know those impact EMPs will solve that, while bullets will solve the problem of Sage.
Yeah, huge pickup there for They Don't Know. That attacking round could be the difference maker between these two squads, or we just may see a total reversal, like you said, where it's going to be all attack and no defense on this map. We'll have to wait and see how that comes out. But for Pulsar, if they don't win this map, it will be a massive collapse for them after taking the first map in a dominant fashion, having a perfect half on the second map, and then dropping that map, and then to lose this map would be devastation for them. So they have a lot of weight on their shoulders there, whereas They Don't Know they're riding a little bit of a high potentially, with their morale being boosted a little bit after making that miraculous comeback. They might be playing a little bit more free and a little bit more formless, a little bit more fluid, to feel good about themselves and maybe take some more aggressive looks than maybe either squad aren't expecting.
Now that we go into the second round, Pulsar really need to ask themselves, what is the plan going forward? They lost so many rounds that they shouldn't have lost them, and they lost the very first defensive round, which never really bodes well, given how this whole series, I believe, will be lost or won by defense. Now we do see they're still on those drones, they're still doing that due diligence, making sure they know where every single defender is before they even approach the building. Dice Ray taking a bit of damage but still alive, and yeah, it looks like Library could be one of the very first objectives. Dice is finally confirmed, and now it is a very quick 4 versus 5 situation.
That it is, as another really good start for They Don't Know here, making their presence known early on the map by finding out that that opening pick onto Dice. Now they just need to make use of it. We've seen this happen before from them, so I'm not fully in the camp that they're going to win this round off of that, because what we've seen from them happen is they get some good early picks and kills, and then it all collapses later on in the round. But so far, they're off to a really hot start here.
Absolutely, with 2 kills down already. I mean, it is looking like that break when Pulsar really need to re-examine what happened. Just didn't really.
Ooh.
Oh, but look at that! Look at that kill from Tia. 3 versus 4, great play there. 2 versus 4 now, as Watchdogs get it straight back, and they're still on a kind of disadvantage. They actually have half the people on their team now. There's still a lot of time left, and the hunt is actually going down. He will very easily be able to hunt down the final player. It's going to be across the areas, and with so much going on, it's going to be very difficult to withstand. And while they are able to, I believe, injure the Deimos, they're quickly swung from behind instead. Anyway.
Yep, and that's just, they don't know, understanding this map just a little bit better, it feels like right now, than Team Pulsar, understanding their rotations, what they need to be doing, and the trading that they need to be making. They're making excellent trades whenever they are trading. They're not giving one up for free. They are getting one back, and this is going to be the first time we're going to see this Monty come out now for Kingslayer. I want to see how this is the difference maker and why they elected to leave this up versus banning, I think it was the Ying instead.
Yes, now they've shown they can win without a Monty, but how are they going to do with Monty? We saw earlier today how exactly Blitz can be used on this map, but now let's see Monty instead. But no, they are actually switching it out already. Going, look, so far we managed to win without a shield. Maybe they're saving it for a very special occasion. Right now they're just going with a very regular kind of approach that they've taken in the previous 2 rounds. I do want to see them take on that shield role though, but if the playstyle just isn't suited to it, then, you know, why risk it? Just go with what works, and then only once you feel that maybe you've gotten a bit too predictable, only then switch it up, so that Pulsar are left once again in the dark.
You say predictable, but right now Pulsar can't seem to predict anything coming out from They Don't Know, and it looks like They Don't Know now has that playbook that Pulsar had in map 1 and in a lot of map 2. So we'll have to wait and see here, as They Don't Know are looking for their initial entry points for this round. And they've already located the bomb sites, which is a good sign for them to try and develop and execute plan a little bit earlier than the last few seconds of the round, where things can go a little crazy really quickly. So we'll have to wait and see, as already once again they pick up Tia. Makitzo coming up big, but it's immediately traded back by Dice. So a 4v4 as we have 2 minutes left into this round.
It is way too early to tell which way it will go, but once again, Tia being the first one to go, and Pulsar in general losing that initial engagement isn't a great sign, especially given how defense used to be their bread and butter, but so far it just isn't on Chalet. While in the meantime, They Don't Know are just taking their time, sweeping through the map, taking control of pretty much whatever they want, and Pulsar are just there waiting for them to come. Now, they still have control of most of the upstairs areas. We can see still very comfortable here in Stellarium and all the way up to Piano, but they will start to approach via jungle. We do see that the Flores already down there is trying to destroy some of that utility and open a few more lines of sight. The Thermite charge will also go. They're committing so much utility right now to make sure that they control upstairs, and they take it away from Pulsar, making their way into office, being very, very patient, waiting for Pulsar to swing, and unfortunately nothing came of that. What did come of all of this, however, is that Ares finally got that C4 kill. Watchdogs just get Jade back though, making it a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, and now for this They Don't Know squad, they used a lot of utility to get that control, but now it's kind of falling apart for them, except that they found Ares, so that's a good sign for them to continue on with this control that they have. They expended a lot of utility for it. They now need to utilize that to secure this round. It's not going to be easy, as it's down to a 2v2. They're going to see one more. They're not going to knock them down just yet. Down to 71 health is Storm, as they are going to get the vertical there as they tried to jump over. Storm down to 3 health though, but it's all up to Watchdogs to get this 2v1 clutch, and it's not going to matter as Dice turns around the fortunes of Team Pulsar, at least for one round, as they secure it.
Yes, they were able to get that oh so important first round in defense before things slip away from them too much. You know, one round is a fluke, 2 rounds is whatever, and then when you start losing a third round in a row, that's when you know something is going on. So they were able to prevent that. Now going into round number 4, let's just hope that Pulsar have been able to really re-examine what's been going on. And because it isn't just that they couldn't do attacks on Nighthaven, they are already failing to do what they're supposed to be really good at, and that is defending. So let's just hope that they're able to readapt on the fly to what they know are now bringing on Chalet.
Yeah, and for this Pulsar squad, they just need to clean up the early stages just a little bit of these rounds where they're getting picked off and having to create some unnecessary trading, I would say. If they're able to deny these early picks from They Don't Know, I think it'll make it a lot harder for this squad to really come in and have the effect on these executes that they are having so far. And that could prove the difference maker for Team Pulsar. But for now, it's going to be up to They Don't Know to adapt a little bit from last round and say that was just a fluke. We're coming back in and we're winning this round right here and right now.
Yes, they need to prove that it wasn't just a one-off thing. In the meantime, They Don't Know, with just 40 seconds left, they are already throwing those nades, clearing out library, clearing out all possible angles that Pulsar could be attempting to prevent an initial push from. We do see Dice still hiding out downstairs, looking at many possible angles, looking up in library, looking at the main doorway in Fireplace, making sure that they have it under control. They know which angles They Don't Know are even coming from before they're even in the map. We do see one already on those stairs being injured, another one coming in through Trophy. That will be dispatched as well. It is a 5-3 situation ready. Once again, we are back in a kind of rhythm where Pulsar are the ones dictating the flow of the round. They're the ones that's saying this is how we do it and this is how the round will go. And it is paying off so far.
That it is. As for They Don't Know, they've lost 2. Everybody else is at full health still, at least for them, and they have some of their big players. They have Maxito, they have Ritzo, they have Watchdoge. Those 3 players have combined for quite a few kills across this. They're missing Gravity, which is one of their big-time killers as well, but for now, they're going to have to rely on these 3 players to make something happen in this round. And for Pulsar, it's just continue playing their game and making sure that wherever They Don't Know goes, they're punished for it.
4 versus 3 now as Makiso gets tired, but that is very quickly brought back to a 4 versus 2. Still, it is Pulsar dominating in this round. However, 3 versus 2 as Watchdog gets another 2 versus 2 as he actually manages to even things out. It is not over yet, just yet, and They Don't Know are still in the fight for this round number 4. With just 2 players left, I'm trying to gather if they have any kind of intel right now. Well, they are right now droning it out, seeing if the diffuser is actually safe to pick up from there in the Trophy. Or Dice is just watching that little corridor over there leading to the Fireplace area. The drone will be shot out as Ares' position will be actually found out, and he's forced to rotate a bit. They will be dropping via hatch. They will have to do a mad dash for the diffuser or try to win on kills alone. They probably have an idea of where those last 2 remaining attackers are, defenders are, given how they're not next to the diffuser, and actually able to pick it up. Now, with just 15 seconds left, they need to get that plant down. But with, Ares goes down. Now it's just left to Dice to try and prevent the plant going down. Just 11 seconds left. Or he could just try and run away and wait for that counter diffuse, but instead Watchdog takes him out before they even have a chance to plant a diffuser.
Really good play there coming out. Means that means that They Don't Know have kind of shown that maybe that was just a fluke from Pulsar to get that 1 round, and they've brought it right back. It's 3-1 the scoreline, and they're feeling really good right now. You can see how they were looking for it, and they finally were able to clutch out that last round, but it was close. It was a rough time for them to start, but they were able to bring it back, and now they need to solidify that just a little bit more to make sure it doesn't get that close again. But for Pulsar, it's back to the drawing board once again on the defense, as they're now in the basement to try to make these defensive positions work for themselves.
we'll have to see exactly how this is going to go down on basement, as they're switching things up quite a bit here on both the attack and defense. That shield is finally coming out, I believe. That is going to be locked. They could still change it last second to annoy me, and they just did, as it is the Hibana being brought out instead, as it is the Hard Bridge. Or rather not, it is the Thermite they're sticking with instead. Very indecisive there on the part of Kingslayer. Anyway, apart from that, it is pretty much a standard attacker roster right here on the side of Dana, while Pulsar are also just about as basic as you can get for that downstairs site. I'm not saying it's bad, but they are also just trying to play it safe and try to get that kind of balance, get a kind of flow they used to, and they kind of experience for most of map 1 and map 2 to get back into the flow.
Now for Pulsar, they need to recapture that flow a little bit and put themselves in the pathway to success, but it's not going to look good for them as Gravity has something to say about it. Picking up that opening kill onto Dice and shutting down what they were looking for.
Yep, another entry pick for They Don't Know. That is very concerning how quickly they're able to get it in Bridge every single round. But look at that, Zage gets one, but Makitsu gets Zage straight back. Tia gets another, bringing us back to 3v3, 3v2 in practice, as Makitsu is actually down. 2 versus 2 now, as Kingslayer gets Tia. It is just refrag after refrag after refrag, while Storm is sneaking his way up to prevent that Makitsu revive, and just like that, he manages to do so. Now, it is just down to Kingslayer, who enters in via Fireplace and now has to locate his last 2 players. He probably has some intel about that kill did go in via the blue staircase, and he's actually able to pick up Makitsu, so bring us back to 2v2. The wall is still frozen as they're expecting some kind of push via the Thermite through the main breach. However, it appears that with 1 minute and 10 seconds left, blue is the direction they'll be taking.
It's going to be close here as shots are traded back and forth. It's a 1v2, 1v1 here. 35 and 20 health. 1 shot, 1 kill for either of them. Storm v Makitsu. Time is ticking away. 50 seconds left on the clock for the They Don't Know player to get this defused down, but it's not going to matter if they get shot in the process. They picked up the diffuser here in case they need to make it happen. They're putting shots into the wall, trying to see if they can't pull them out of position. They're going to be in a position to plant this diffuser here. It's not going to get stuck, though. They're just trying to fake it. These are the tense moments. No one wanting to overpeak as the rush forward to get a new positioning here. And they do get it after just blasting their way as they were looking for that peak. Means that They Don't Know have picked up their 4th round over Pulsar.
That's the beauty of an LMG. You can just fire right at a single spot as you make your way around, and you can just pre-fire for ages, eventually forcing Pulsar to try and peek there, but nothing came of that because of that LMG's great rate of fire, bringing us into, a world where we could see this end up being a 5-1 half for They Don't Know.
Because very potentially much could be.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, Pulsar, they are trying their best, and as you can see, it gets very close. However, it looks like they have no idea how to close out those rounds and how to secure it in their advantage. They just don't know how to respond to what They Don't Know are doing, if that makes any sense. I love when teams have a name like that, because it makes our job as casters so much easier, because it just has the infinite potential for puns. But anyway,
it's always fun.
Yes, exactly. But let's just focus on what Pulsar and They Don't Know are preparing for this final round of the first half.
And for these squads, final round of the first half, Pulsar looking to bring it back to a 4-2. They Don't Know looking to push it to a 5-1 and complete their reverse sweep, quite literally, of the series, taking the second half of the second map, plus then potentially this map as well. It would be the start that they want to this map, as they already picked up Zage. Huge pickup there. That is one of the main initiators on that squad.
It is so frustrating for them probably that they're getting just picked first every single time, that they're just unable to get an entry frag onto they don't know. But look at that, Tia and Dice are actually able to bring it back to a 3v3 situation, so not everything is lost. They are in a piano position right now with the shield. Kingslow waiting to push a bit further with the diffuser in hand as they're trying to get the plant down, most likely going down Solarian stairs, unless they try to somehow get Dice out of... Oh, Dice does not surrender as he keeps bedroom all to himself, pushing away everyone who dares come near. And just like that, Ellis with that C4 closes out that round. So no, it is just a 4-2 half, not a 5-1 like we feared could happen.
And now for Pulsar on the attack, they need to come up with something here. They weren't able to get any attacking rounds. Neither team was on the last half. They don't know picked up 4 on this map. It's gonna be up to Pulsar to pick up that ever crucial 5 in this half to secure themselves the victory here and stop the onslaught that they don't know is bringing to the table. It's going to be all up to Pulsar here. They don't know. They only need 3 rounds on this defense. They're starting off down below in the basement. Let's see if they're able to make something happen of it.
I do want to believe that Pulsar have learned the lessons from how atrocious every single attack was on that previous map. Because they were close, but it was in those crucial situations where they just panicked, or I really have no idea how to really describe what I saw there, but they just weren't able to really go through with it. And that is what brought us to map number 5, which could end very, very quickly. But who knows? Maybe Chalet's just upside down world, you know, maybe here just the opposite rules work and govern, and it could be Pulsar are the champions of attack and they don't know are the ones who are just able to, you know, snatch those rounds from Pulsar on defense.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult time for both of these squads, as both of them have been riding a little bit of a momentum high at different points on this map, but it's not going to be easy, as Pulsar have their work cut out for them, having to go 5 rounds here and stop they don't know when they don't know what they don't know is doing. But that's the pick that you want to start things off with. Tia finding the back of Makitzo. Huge play there.
Yes, they finally got something they've been missing for a very long time, an entry frag, which definitely turns the dynamics of this entire situation. Now, there's still so much left to be done, so an entry frag obviously doesn't win a round, but it is a good indicator and a very good start. It's also great a morale booster after that first half, which definitely didn't go the way of Pulsar.
No, it did not, as now they're looking for more from they don't know. But oh, the C4 putting in work onto Tia shuts down the vertical play that they were looking for, and now it's even once again for they don't know and Pulsar. Tight moments here between these two squads. They know what's on the line. They want those $400, and the only way to do that is to get into playoffs, and you have to win this map to make that happen. Gonna be rough for both of them here.
4v4 as we enter the very last minute. We can see a lot of the floor being destroyed by the Buck to try and get that bird play ready. They actually missed an opportunity to get one of the players under the snowballs, but they weren't aware. Sage manages to get one with Watchdogs, get a nitro kill onto Storm, and all of a sudden we had a 3v3 situation as we enter the last 30 seconds of this round. The stakes are very high. Arison sustaining quite a bit of damage and fighting being down, while Gravity and Rizzo get those 2 kills, making it a 1v3 situation, and it's Watchdog who is just unstoppable so far this game.
5-2 the score line right now for they don't know, who have come back from quite a large deficit on map 2, forcing overtime, coming into this one now and taking a 4-2 half, now taking their first on defense. They only need 2 more rounds and they've secured their spot in playoffs, and they've been playing really, really well. We're moving to the bar and the gaming room. We'll have to see what their defense setup is like here. It was a little sketchy in that last round, but they were able to bring it back after losing on those 2 opening frags. Let's see what they decide to come up with here on this first floor.
It is a very, very dangerous score. Like they say that a 2-0 is a dangerous score in football, whenever it is a 5-something in Siege, that is also a very, very dangerous score because you're so close to being... It is almost as stressful as being on match point, because at match point, yeah, okay, you're like 1 step away, but here, this is what can make or break the rest of that game. And because of how much your whole psyche is affected by that digit being on 6, by being on a match point, this is where they can really prevent a disaster from happening if they only know how they can handle they don't know on defense. Pulsar have their work cut out for them. They just need to really work on a few crucial elements. They should be able to pull it through. As we can see already, they are working away from the downstairs up. Most likely, once again, trying to get some vertical play there going. Most likely with that Ash over there. It's not bringing anyone like, for example, a Buck this time around.
No, they are not, but it's going to be interesting moments here for Pulsar as they're looking for their initial entries into the building, trying to spot out any of the players from they don't know, but good moments there by Maxito to pick up Dice, and Zage is down to 46 health as well. So a huge play there. Maxito's down to 8, but they did their job perfectly to make sure that they can come up with a lead, and Rizzo finds Tia as well. That is the start that they don't know wanted to this round.
All of the U2 now being used to provide a clear push through Library onto Mez. There's still 1 member of Pulsar. So they don't know, trying to keep Library from falling, trying to get a swing and manage to secure that kill. Gravity gets Storm right there, bringing it into a 2 versus 5. Kingslayer was down but gets picked up. Those calls are coming down as Dokebi is trying to get some intel there, some info on where all of those remaining defenders are, all 5 of them. However, that goes by with pretty much nothing happening. They're only now confident enough to actually get into side. Zage now trying to swing his way through. Mez trying to find anything, anyone, any slightest just bit of the arm, chest, leg, anything showing that they can just quickly tap away at, but unfortunately they don't know isn't giving them anything. Instead, what they're giving them is a C4 to their face, and it's Rizzo. That patience from all of them right there was just paying off. They were not given Pulsar anything. They were forcing them to come to the defenders, and it won around in great style.
1 round left. Match point, series point this time. Not for Pulsar, but for they don't know, as we're now moving to the kitchen and dining room. And for Pulsar, backs against the wall, do or die. It's now or never to punch their ticket to the playoffs. They need to be perfect from here on out. They were perfect in the second map until they weren't. Are they going to be able to do it here? They don't know. Setting up their defenses here around the dining room. It's not going to be easy for Pulsar, but they've had flashes of brilliance before. Maybe they can bring it out once again here, as I'm slightly worried for them. I'm actually more than slight. I'm very worried for them, if I'm going to be honest, because they haven't had the flashes of brilliance that they've been able to chain together in strings of rounds that they would need at this point to really secure themselves a chance at getting overtime. And even if they get this round, I don't see them actually forcing overtime here.
It is going to be very difficult. Pulsar have shown they have the skill, they have the comms, they have that trust in each other as teammates. What they don't have is a lot of game sense in situations like that where just picked up straight away. And it's situations like that really cost them rounds, cost them maps, and will probably cost them the series where they're just not paying attention to those very basic things. I think at that point, it is just such an obvious angle for a very quick kill. But they just weren't paying attention as Zage is able to get one back. But I think stress could be just getting to them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very stressful scenario, being up so heavily in map 2 and then losing it. The weight of the mental is beyond crazy as Kingslayer picks up Zage there to force it into a 4v3. For Pulsar, the mental weight that they have is beyond like what I would be able to even comprehend with words, because of how far ahead they were to lose it all in this moment potentially here, as they are now in a 2v4.
Dice and Ares have such a huge burden. Now it's just Ares, such a huge burden on the shoulders right now, as it's just a 1 versus 3 situation. Everything resting on his shoulders as he has to get 3 more. Is he actually going to be able to do it? Or is he just going to wait outside, wait for them to maybe get a bit, too eager to finish this off, too eager to go to sleep, and give him an easy pick or two, because they still have so much time to work with here. I mean, they have over a minute left. They can try a couple of different angles. They can really experiment with how they want to approach this site to see if one of the guys maybe isn't paying as much attention as they probably should be. Now he's instead heading down blue. I wonder if they don't even know he's inside the building yet, or if he's still just waiting outside. He could get a very easy kill here, but oh, they are already waiting to cover blue stairs, and it is Mahitso to finally finish us off, as they don't know. Finally, after so many rounds, after so many maps, take this. Wow, what a series.
What a series, what a selection of games. They don't know, coming out victorious over Team Pulsar when it mattered most, bringing it back from sure defeat of a 2-0 back on Nighthaven Labs, forcing overtime, coming into this next map, Chalet, in the decider, and saying, this is our map, this is our time, and securing it all together. Avrona, what are your thoughts on that series?
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my casting career, where we went an entire map without a single win on attack. It was actually insane. And I think you would agree with me, after the great performance on the first map, and after winning 6 rounds in a row, just completely dominating on offense, we weren't giving They Don't Know any chances to win this. We were really kind of harsh on them. We were going, oh yeah, Pulsar's just going to take this. And then everything collapsed when the second we switched sides.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have that kind of a dominating performance in map 1, going into map 2 and having a perfect half, it's not a done deal, as we've obviously seen with the comeback from They Don't Know. But the chances of actually winning for They Don't Know were so slim that, I mean, if I was a betting man, I would not have bet on They Don't Know to win, except maybe because I wanted the long shot, 1,000,000 to 1 chance. But for the reality of the situation, They Don't Know should not have won. They defied all odds and had a miracle run of sorts to bring it back, force overtime, and then win out in map 3 as well.
The people who bet with channel points for They Don't Know to win are probably celebrating right now, because I can't imagine how big the pair must have been after the kind of performance that Pulsar was showing, and a kind of, great siege was shown at the start, and they just really, at the end of it, it looked like they just were stressing out too much, and they weren't even doing the basics that they were supposed to.
It seemed like it was just a mental boom of sorts after losing out on map 2. But with that was Team Pulsar versus They Don't Know. They Don't Know taking the series 2-1 in a thrilling 3-map set for us. And that's going to actually conclude all of the group play, as once we start back up again on Friday, we'll be live with the playoffs of everybody who qualified. So you won't want to miss those. Keep an eye on Twitter. Keep an eye on the Discords to find out when we will be live next. Avrona, I want to thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to our sponsor, IT Discount 24, for sponsoring PBX Pro Series 6. And thank you to the viewers for watching today. My name was Ice Fireeyed, and we will catch you all on Friday for the start of the playoffs of the PBX Pro Series 6.
See you guys then.